I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Iamkeebler joins us. Hi.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Keebler. You can call me Keebs for short, though. I am an elf VTuber who is ruled by her unicorn overlord and is constantly trying to escape its clutches by playing a variety of things like city builders, survival games, and the occasional weird game because it adds to the chaotic realm that my unicorn overlord likes to exist in.
Boy, those unicorns. I mean, you get this. There's supposed to be people talk about unicorns being also nice but they're really, they're taskmasters.
They are. Mine, her name is Sparkles, and she is sassy, and she's not afraid to be sassy to me or to my viewers.
Good gravy. I mean, they talk about not always living up to their reputations.
I think the magic gets to their head a little bit.
Yeah, well, probably get to mine too. I don't doubt one bit. Thank you so much for coming on. It's a pleasure talking with you. Yeah, and I'd like to know how you got started in the VTuber biz.
Yeah, so I actually started off as a face cam streamer. I was streaming, I loved it, but the thing that I had trouble with was being on camera all the time because for my full-time real person job, I work from home in a virtual setting as a corporate trainer, and I'm on camera 40 hours a week for that.
Oh boy.
And so when the weekends would come around and I would stream, I would start to just loathe having to get camera ready every single time because I've been doing it all week long.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have some friends that VTube, and I was watching them, and one of them actually suggested, well, why don't you give it a try? Here's some resources to get you started, and why don't you see if you like it? And I fell in love with it.
So did you know about VTubers before that?
I did. So there was a few, big name ones that I watched occasionally.
Yeah.
And so it looked fun. It looked interesting, especially like I am a big fan of the more chaotic VTubers, the ones where you tune in and you never really know what's going to be happening on their shows or while they're streaming.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Looks so fun.
That would be, if you can get that sort of vibe going. Not only will it look like fun, but also you tend to get a lot out of your system. What are you doing?
You do for sure.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that to heart, and it kind of ran with it since then.
Well, it's people take this kind of as a chance to show off parts of themselves that they normally can't in public, and I'd imagine, given your IRL job, while the temptation might be there occasionally to do that, I imagine you have to hold back pretty much for the whole time.
Oh yeah, especially like when I'm working. Obviously, I have to hold back a lot of my personality. They've kind of embraced my natural chaotic nature, so then when I go on stream, it just kind of explodes.
It is unfettered.
It is very unfettered.
Yes. So when you got on stream and started doing it for yourself, was there any nerves about it? I mean, technically, you're on stage pretty much your entire job.
Yep. So unlike I've had this conversation with other VTubers because in my streams I do get a lot of newer streamers and VTubers who talk about managing their nerves and things like that, and I personally don't really have nerves. My nervous energy turns into me just rambling. So kind of like works in my favor.
Oh, okay.
But I also do a lot of prep before I stream, such as, I'll listen to music to kind of hype myself up, or I'll watch some of my favorite streamers to just kind of get myself into that mode. And I do like little things to just kind of get me amped and get me hyped and excited so then I can come full energy to everybody when I go live.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's good to be able to find, because sometimes, if you, it happens to anybody who does a broadcast or a performance, that you're not always 100%.
Mhm.
Something might have happened, and you're like, I need something to, pump myself up a little bit before getting in there and
I
watch.
try to
Yeah,
Yeah, I try to remind myself that at the end, what I'm doing on the weekends, like, yes, I'm streaming, I'm playing video games, but I'm putting on a show. If I want people to pop by and hang out, then I need to give them something. And so I kind of go into my VTubing with that mindset
yeah,
already in my mind. So I'm going into it thinking about like I'm puppeteering this, character on screen, and what can I do to make that more engaging and exciting for those that are watching than just sitting there watching me fail miserably at whatever video game I'm playing.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's something to be said for that, for sure. But the people will come back for the personality, and that
Yeah,
always. I mean, that's what I come back for. I mean, if I if I enjoy listening to them, and I feel like I don't necessarily always want to be part of the conversation, but I want to be able to have it in the background. I'm doing something else and enjoy. And if you can get that type of a bond with your audience, that's so much gold. That's
I agree.
yeah. And were you able to do that right away, or did it take a little while to build an audience?
That took a little while to build an audience. Really, I would say my audience has really only started to grow more, I'd say, in the past 5 months or so,
Mhm.
because I feel like I've kind of gotten into a groove of how I want my streams to run, and so it was a lot of throwing spaghetti at a wall, so to speak, just to see like what sticks, what gets people interested, and learning how to talk through the dead silence. And
Yeah.
that's probably the hardest thing, is talking through the dead air when no one's communicating or talking in your chats, and you can see the numbers, there's people lurking, and you're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna ramble now.
It's like, hello, I know you're
Yep.
there. Yeah, it gets that way. I mean, I used to do talk shows, and one of the radio talk shows, and when you had an open line and nobody called, it's
Mm.
very long. Is why you try to get
Yeah,
as
you
many
do get
guests as possible.
yeah, you do get good at filling in that dead air and that dead space eventually.
Yeah,
I find like I start to tend to ramble about, what's going on in my day, what's happening in the game, things
yeah,
that I want to work on.
yeah.
Um, I even do one of the weird things I do is I have this like wheel spin for random props that I can put on my character.
Oh, there you go.
And certain props will trigger me to activate different ways of speaking. So for example, there's a mustache that I put on occasionally, and for whatever reason we call it daddy mode on my stream, where I just start talking like a little southern daddy who wants to just you know get everybody interested in whatever it is that I'm doing, and
That's
it
right.
just kind of runs
Yeah,
with it, and I
there's
become a
nothing wrong
different
with that.
persona.
There's nothing wrong with that
No,
at all.
it entertains me, so if someone else is entertained by it, then even better.
Yeah, well, that's one of the ways that folks are using at when you're being innovative in trying to get the chat involved, and
Hmm.
it's great to see because there's so many people who are doing it on themselves. People having their own innovation to get their broadcast better or their interaction with the chat better. Um, People having to MacGyver their way into some things, but they
Yep.
they they come up with some of the most brilliant ideas on their own, and they don't need uh, no shade to your real life job. They don't need a corporation to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm definitely indie VTuber for
Yeah,
sure. I am
yeah,
all self done over here.
yeah.
Um, and I think it makes it fun though, because then I have the flexibility of where my imagination and my whims are really my only limitation.
Mm, that is really cool. And do you have a situation where anybody that you're at your workplace knows what you're doing?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
ha-
So, I'm when I say I'm an open book, I mean it, like, not only in my VTubing life, but in my real life as well, and I share with them all the time. I come back and I'm like, "Oh, I had a great stream this weekend," and I have a couple of people that actually watch me,
yeah,
and, they're very intrigued by it, and, Even like my mom watches me, and some of her coworkers watch me, and I find it kind of it's entertaining to me that people in my real life have accepted the VTuber side of me, and they don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
They ask a lot of questions, but I love explaining it to them.
Well, that's good anyway. I mean, at least they listen, you know. But
Yeah, yeah, yep.
yeah, people, you know, I'm open with how old I am. 60 years old doing this. Nobody my age knows what's going on, which is fine
Yep.
because I don't want to talk to them.
And I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, it's perfectly fine with me because I'm enjoying myself, and I think that you know, people, if you don't watch VTubers, and if you watch VTubers and you don't find somebody that you're enjoying, you're not watching enough. Um,
Hmm.
Somebody's doing something that you're going to enjoy. Of course,
I
somebody's
agree. There's so
yeah,
many great VTubers out there.
yeah. Of course, somebody's probably doing something that you really hate, and you can hate watch, I
There's
guess.
those too.
But you know, if whatever floats your boat. But um, to see so many people get a chance to show their talents um, in ways that we would never have been able to find out before. Uh, 25 years ago, I wouldn't know that VTuber X in country Y is a really good singer. I would never have known
Hmm.
that. There wouldn't have been anything for me to find out, and they wouldn't have had a chance to show off either what they're doing.
I agree. I also think it's gotten more accessible in the past few years too, with not just, the different software that's out there to help you to, puppeteer your character, but with now the creation of all these customizable models, which is what I use myself. It makes it a lot more of an affordable thing to do. So it's more like it feels more available to more people now. And I can't tell you how many times when I'm streaming, I get people that join my streams are like, this looks fun. I want to try this. How do I start this? And I have lots of conversations with people on my streams about like where to begin, what to look into, how to get into this world
Oh yeah.
because people watch and they're like, I want to have fun too.
Oh yeah, yeah. They want to be a part of it, and I don't blame them. I mean, if I was still young and had any Twitch fingers left, I would do that too. Um, Actually, I probably would be scared because it was video, and I'm a radio guy. um, the the transition for you from doing your job work and being in a uh, virtual world for that, and being in this virtual world. Um, do you get kind of freaked out by that every once in a while?
Um, not necessarily. I would say I kind of like I've been working virtually since COVID hit in 2020.
Hmm.
And back then, yeah, it was definitely a whole new world and avenue for me. And being virtual all the time kind of freaked me out. And I missed seeing people face to face and stuff. But like switching between what I do now for my full time job to my hobby of VTubing, it feels seamless. I live. It sounds sad. I live online.
Well, I mean, it's very 21st century to do that sort of thing.
It really is. It
Yeah,
really
I mean,
is.
you're right up there with the Jetsons.
Now, if only we could get the robots that clean for us.
That's right. That's right. And Rastro, that'll be good too. Um, the that type of thing. Do you think that it has helped you socially, or has it been kind of a hindrance socially in real life?
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And on one hand, it's helped me socially in the sense that I can strike up conversations with strangers very easily.
Mm.
It's not really hard for me to do that. In person, I have to kind of remind myself that I'm seeing somebody face to face and kind of hone down the intensity a little bit because I'm a very animated person in real life too. Like, right, for example, right now you can't see, but I'm talking with my hands.
Flailing around,
And
knocking stuff down left and right.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, so it definitely is something that I have to be mindful of where I don't because I do have a tendency to kind of blow people over in person because I'm just very an animated, loud, outspoken person sometimes.
Well, I mean, you pretty much have to be though, don't you? I mean, for
Hmm.
to get your point across in a as an animated well, as I mean, a virtual trainer, you
Yeah.
have to grab their attention. Um,
Yep.
because if you don't, the whole thing's lost. I mean,
Yep, I've learned some tricks over the years with that. So for example, even though I'm in a corporate setting, my real life aesthetic, usually I have fun colored hair, I have tattoos, I have piercings. I normally come in a wild, crazy, work appropriate outfit, but it's definitely something that somebody new to a job when they come in to to my like agency,
yeah.
they're like, "Who the heck is this weirdo up front?" And oh my gosh, that's my boss. I'm like, "Yeah, hi, by the way, you get to deal with me for the next 6 weeks."
Yes. Deal with it.
Yes. Uh, I love it though because I find it helps people to just, focus on me and what I'm teaching in
Yeah.
those moments when I'm doing things
Yeah.
for my job. But a lot of that translates into the VTuber world too, because again, I'm just as animated, and so learning how to get my model on screen to, kind of mimic my movements and interactions, so they're just as engaging as I am in real life has been really fun to kind of figure out.
Now, yeah, that's to you. This is a very. I mean, we talk about this. It is very 21st century, but there's not very many people who live lives like this. I mean, these even
Hmm.
after COVID. So you you got a real niche. Uh, uh, do you feel like you're kind of blazing a trail here with what you're doing?
Um, I wouldn't say necessarily blazing a trail, but definitely um enjoying the ride of it all. I know I'm very privileged to be able to work from home and have all these online hobbies as well. I know a lot of people that I talk to don't have that ability,
Hmm.
either because they need that, face-to-face connection with people.
Yeah.
Um, but I do feel like it it is getting more and more common in some regards.
Mm,
And, honestly, I wish everybody could could enjoy it as much as I do, but
yeah.
I think you have to have a unique personality in order to be able to fully handle a life that's, well, basically all online.
Well, yeah, and almost larger than life. Like you mentioned. I mean, you because I think that a lot of this with the VTuber is very much personality driven. But in order to be
Mhm.
effective at what you're doing with your job, you also have to be very personality driven.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, not a lot of people can do what you're doing.
I appreciate you saying that. I do put I'm one of those people that I put 120% into, like, everything I do. So my life, my work, my hobbies, I'm a go big or go home kind of person.
See, I'm a go home type of person.
See, I'm already home, so all I can do is go big.
That's right. See, I always tell people I give 60% at everything, and they say, "Why?" I said, "Because if I accidentally give 70%, then they think I'm giving 110%, and I've still got 30% left."
My boss tells me this all the time too. She's like, you don't have to do that much. You can keep it down." I'm like, but then it eats away at me, and I'm like, but I could have done this and I could have done that. So I just go big with everything.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's you though. I mean, have you always been that type of a person? But even before you
I
started
definitely
doing this, I mean, were you when you were in school, were you the person who grabbed the microphone?
Oh, yeah, very much so. I was definitely the type of person who was, not necessarily screaming to be the center of attention, but always wound up being the center of attention.
Yeah.
Um, with just, from how I styled myself, my outfits, to the activities I was involved in. So like I was involved with, choir and band and doing show choir and competitions for music. And then I was into the art area. I was into the photography people. I ended up getting onto the yearbook committee and all these different committees just because I just it was almost like fear of missing out, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like I just want to experience everything.
Yeah. The yearbook was a experience on itself, wasn't it? I
It
did
was,
I,
it was.
I did that myself.
I
People don't understand
I
the
remember
politics.
yeah, I remember I joined the yearbook committee mainly because my school's yearbook was very much focused on, like, the athletes and the cheerleaders, and
Yeah.
I was one of those people who was friendly with everyone,
Yeah.
so I made sure that the the regular old Joe Schmo who wasn't on any activities also had a special picture in the yearbook of something that they were involved with or doing, and really went out of my way to make sure every single person in my class had some sort of representation in our yearbook the year that I was in it. And it was really cool. It was really prideful to see everyone recognize it in those moments.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it was if you had somebody in charge of that thing who was um biased, mm,
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
got to be quite political.
Hmm.
I know
I
I
agree.
walked out of
Yep.
one time when I was doing it because they were they were trying to get rid of this one. I mean, I didn't fight for a lot with this thing, but this picture was perfect. And it was and back then if you had a color picture to put in and you had the color part of it, that was special. It
Oh
was
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
There was only so many color pages available.
yeah, and I won because basically I told them I wasn't going to do it anymore. Like I'll take the F. I don't care.
I love
Yeah.
it.
But it turned out to be fun, and then really that kind of got me started into covering sports because I was also doing sports for the paper. It was newspaper dash yearbook. It was all together.
Just kind of started everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's that class's fault that I did it for all that time. But but that getting it started in the media that early
Hmm.
certainly got you a jump ahead to what you were going to do later in life, didn't it?
Definitely. I've always been somebody who didn't shy away from a microphone or, volunteering to, put myself out there. I'm a firm believer that you get out of life what you put into it, and
Hmm.
so I'm always trying to find ways to have new experiences that fit into things that I enjoy doing. And some of the things I enjoy doing is talking to people. I like engaging with people. I like teaching people. And so a lot of my world that I'm in now fits all of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And even in the job that you're doing, you're meeting a lot of different folks. Um, and in training, um, I imagine there's some folks that you only see through training, and that's it.
Yep. Yep.
Is
So there's people that I see only through training, and there's people who I never see, because so I do a lot with training.
mm-hmm.
I teach people in person. I teach people virtually. I also help host webinars for outside companies, so I could have a class of 10 people to 200 people. So I've gotten very used to and comfortable to just talking to an audience,
Oh,
essentially.
that webinar stuff. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's that is a. So tell me, I've never hosted a webinar.
Hmm.
I've been a part of one. I've never been a part of one putting one together. Um, how many pounds of Jello do you nail to the wall to get that done?
Yeah, it's quite a lot to put something like that together.
Mm.
You have to create your presentation. You have to go through and practice it, make sure your timing is good, and make sure that the topic is something that people are actually interested in. And you have to kind of anticipate all the questions you could potentially get, and you also have to learn how to like you're talking to an audience, but they can't like vocally engage with you.
Right.
And sometimes even chat is limited, so they can't like type things out to you really either. So it's like you're just kind of talking to yourself for an hour.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel bad for some of the folks that we go into because they start asking questions and everybody out there's like, we can't respond. So,
Mm-hmm.
some of us don't even
Yep.
have the keyboard to respond to. We're just like, like, I can't answer your
It can be a
question.
challenge.
Yeah,
It can be a challenge.
yeah, and especially and when you're doing it with so many different groups. I know you're in the corporate situation, but are you doing these with different businesses or the businesses in the
Yeah.
same corporation?
So different businesses, colleges, students, um, other people who are in corporate settings.
Hmm.
The audience can really vary.
Oh my gosh, that's it. That's some tough stuff. 'Cause you
Yep.
you are a better media person than I. I could not do that together, even in the slightest.
I'll be honest, I just kind of wing it and just hope for the best. And then, people it's kind of like, it's kind of how I run through most things is I just wing it. I hope for the best. And if people like it, great. And if not, all right, we learn from it and we adjust and we move forward.
That's a great attitude to have, especially when you're doing the VTube thing, because anything can happen
Mhm.
as you go along. It could be
Exactly.
equipment, could be the internet, could be heck, could be the sun throwing a big giant ball of things and knocking everything off the air for a while. Uh,
I always joke with my viewers that it's not a true stream unless we have a scuff moment somewhere where something's not working correctly.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's the way it worked on radio broadcasts too back in the day. Something was not going
Imagine,
to
I
work,
can imagine.
and our trick was to not let anybody know what was
Hmm.
happening. We had a situation one time. Um, we used the old cellular phones for uh, remote broadcasts for basketball games. The old bag phones, which were
Wow.
brilliant. They were so strong, um, lots of wattage. But the problem was this one ran out of steam during the game.
Oh.
So it was happened to be one of the big games in the county, and we had sold a lot of advertising for it. So while I was playing advertising, trying to get the things back, I had both my play-by-play and color commentator call me on their own personal cell phones, and I hooked them up via a conference call, and that's how they did the rest of the game.
Oh my gosh.
No one
And
outside,
that's the thing.
yeah, no one outside knew what was going on because it had the same sound quality.
Mhm.
So I mean, you have to be when you got situations like that, you have to just throw it and see what sticks, like you were saying.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You just gotta kinda think on the fly and just make it work.
yeah. And if it doesn't work, what have you lost at that point? It's
Exactly,
yeah.
it can only go downhill from there.
That,
It's fine.
that's right.
Best case scenario gets better.
That's right. That's right. Now you say that you play all sorts of like city builder type games.
Mhm.
Like which one is your go-to that you enjoy the most?
Oh gosh, that is such a loaded question.
Mm-hmm.
I I play a lot of city builders.
Mm-hmm.
I love, City Skylines. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's such a good classic because it feels very Sim City-esque, which
Yeah.
is what got me interested in city builders
Yeah.
way back in the day.
Yeah.
But so that one's always gonna have a special place in my heart. But there's a newer one that came out recently called Town to City that is just so well done. It from the animation style to just how the gameplay is to the art of it. I love it so much.
So what's the
Um,
difference in that and that makes that so much better?
so what's really interesting about Town to City is first off the art style is very it's kind of like a pixelated, like a 3D pixelated art style. So it's very unique in
Hmm.
how it looks.
Okay.
Um it has some really cool features in it in regards to how you build the city
Mm-hmm.
and how your citizens come. So you get like 3 citizens a day that join, or 3 families, I should say, that join. And you can, you slowly build up your city. But what's also neat is how you can decorate your city, and that's a key component of this particular game. Is you have to decorate your city to keep your citizens happy.
Okay.
Another really neat feature, though, is that it has Twitch integration. So if I'm playing it on stream on Twitch, any viewer that is typing in my chat suddenly pops up into the game as a little villager, and they can see themselves in game, and
Ah.
anything they type shows up in game, and
Oh.
it creates for really fun, engaging moments with the audience too, because everyone's like, "Oh, who am I married to? Who's my child?" And it I don't know, it makes it really fun.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. That is a great idea. And it
Hmm.
and it's like they did that specifically for you streamers to put that
It
in there.
feels like it.
Yeah,
It's
that is really neat. Now, one of the first games I played in that genre, kind of, I guess, was Sim Earth,
mm-hmm, yep.
and I played it on an old toaster Mac that and that it had two games on it because that's all the space it had was was
Hmm.
and it was so much fun. And you can still play it like on the Internet Archive, but it's very tough to get to work correctly. Um, but when you get like when you get to terraform Mars and you start off with dinosaurs.
It's fun. It's fun. I love games like that,
Yeah.
and I think that's why I get so like city builders are one of those types styles of games that I can just get sucked into.
Mm.
I also really like a lot of the there's like medieval style city builder games that I've gotten into.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like uh trying to think of the name of one of them right now. Going Medieval is one
Mm.
of them.
Okay.
And Farthest Frontier is another one.
Yeah,
Excellent, excellent games. Can't recommend them enough.
yeah. Do you ever dip into the games like the Civilization games?
Oh yeah, yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep. I've
yeah.
owned Civ 4, 5, and s- do I own 6? I think I own 6.
So
I love them.
man, well, that I I could get into one of those games, and again, it's when you have the chance, and you can start off from different areas and different scenarios, and it does take you in, and it'll just take hours away from you. Um,
It reminds me of playing Risk back in the day.
oh
So when
yeah.
I was in high school, my friends and I we would go to there was a restaurant called Country Kitchen that was open 24 hours, and so we'd take one of the booths, we'd set up a Risk board game, and we'd sit there all night drinking coffee, eating French fries, and playing Risk until the morning came and we had to go home.
Man, that sounds like too much fun. Where was I? And you said, "Oh, I know where I was. I was working probably." But yeah, I would always end up in Madagascar anyway, and just sit there and build up armies, and then attack and die. Pretty much. I, I
Yep.
never could get a good roll going on Risk, but um,
I always try to take over Africa personally.
yeah. Well, it's a little tougher to. It's easier to defend. I mean,
Mhm.
it's and you can always build up from below and bring up from there. I'm kind of
Yep.
surprised that we haven't seen a lot of that people playing that online because of the games, but there's other games like that out there. Um, you also say you play lots of strange games.
Yes, I do.
All right, now I'm not letting you get away without that with that. what what are we talking about? Strange games here, like what?
Yeah. So I like to play games that as you're playing them, you're just questioning like who even thought of this? Why does this even work as a game? Like where you're playing it the whole time just wondering like what the heck am I playing? Um for example, there's a game that I played not too long ago called Happy Game, where the whole premise is that you're helping this little boy through his nightmares so he can retrieve his three favorite items, which is a ball, a stuffed bunny, and his puppy dog.
Oh, okay.
And but the whole game is just pure nightmare fuel, and the entire time you're like, "What is going on?" It
There's
just kind of mind-boggling.
there's nothing happy about the happy game. It's,
The
it's the,
Yeah, and I don't even know how to begin to explain that one, but, another one, Little Inferno, it's just, the whole game is you're just burning things in different combinations, and
oh
eventually you burn your house down, and, like, that's the goal of the game.
yeah, okay, I get the idea now. I get the idea.
Yeah,
and
so it's a lot of, like, weird little games, like that.
yeah.
Another one, Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop, where the whole premise is you are trying to pay back a debt to your boss, who also happens to be the devil, and you do that by repairing spaceships.
I just where do they even think of that one? I mean, that's nothing. None of that
Exactly.
goes together.
I know. And so games like that, I love playing them, especially on stream, because then me and the audience the whole time are just like laughing about like what is this? Like I love it when people pop into my stream and their first impression of me is playing this weird game they've never heard of, and they stick around because they're like, I just need to know what this is.
Yes, and those games, but just by the concept, they're all like indie games anyway. I mean, they're you
Yep.
those types of things you can't go into a boardroom and say, "This is my plan. We owe money to the devil, so we got to fix rocket ships." And they
Exactly,
and they call
exactly.
security and let you out of the room. And so there's always going to be that little special bit of polish that that an indie developer would put on it because they didn't have to answer to anybody.
Exactly, and I find too, you find some real gems doing that too sometimes. Um, and it's just, no offense to like the big name games or anything, but they're really affordable as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it
So,
really is. I kind of miss the days um, back. There used to be a lot of games available for the. I had a Commodore 64 way back when.
mhm,
I could
mhm.
go to my grocery store and get a disc that had 5 games on it for the Commodore 64 for $5.
Yep.
And usually one or two of them were pretty good. I didn't if I got two of them out for $5, that's a pretty good deal. The other ones I just ignored. You can't
Mhm.
really do that now. Um,
No, games have gotten so expensive.
yeah, and especially if you're doing them on a console that doesn't even let you own the games, that's really
Yep.
expensive. Not some, I mean, you can still get stuff on the computer to do it, but again, you have to wait for the Steam sale.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep. My
so
wish list is a mile long.
yeah. Do you?
But, I play not only on PC, I have consoles that I play on too, so I've
Yeah.
got a Nintendo Switch, I've got a PlayStation, and
Ah,
yeah, the games can be pretty pricey if
yeah.
you aren't getting them on a sale, which is why I love indie games so much.
Yeah. So you get most of your stuff off of the Steam?
Yeah, most of the stuff I play is from my PC on Steam.
Hmm.
There are a couple of games that I save just for playing off stream for myself on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Um, but for the most part, yeah, I get most of my games from Steam. It's
Yeah.
just too convenient not to.
Yeah. So you do hold some games out for yourself and just for
Mhm.
your own enjoyment. I know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some people have kind of a hard time separating that, and they want to introduce people to the games, but you're able to keep that wall in between it.
I find this important because so I learned a while ago that it's it's hard to take a hobby and turn it into a business
Yeah.
and because you end up losing enjoyment in it.
Absolutely.
I used to have my own photography business because I do photography for a hobby.
Yeah.
And for a while there, I was like, I want to do this for a job. I think this would be amazing. And so I started a photography business. I started working with people. And then I suddenly hated photography because it took the thing that I loved and made me hate it because I couldn't do it for enjoyment anymore.
All right.
And so going into VTubing, it was very important to me with streaming that I found a way to separate it so I could still have enjoyment. So I look at this fully as a hobby and my gaming as a separate hobby.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if somebody were to say, throw some money at you for doing it, you wouldn't turn it down, would you?
Oh, I mean, no, I mean, I need a way to pay for the hobby still.
There you go. That's true too. But the I understand what you're talking about. I talk to a lot of folks who are artists in different art than photography, and
Mhm.
I asked them the same question. Once you're not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for somebody else, and you lose that initiative of using your own um, ideas and your own thing. You're following
Yeah,
a list of some. Do they lose the enjoyment of it? And was what you were kind of facing with that photography?
definitely, because it came to a point where I wasn't able to follow my creative whims as much because it was more of a I'm just pumping out a product now.
Yeah,
So I learned through the process. I really enjoy landscape photography,
yeah.
and I hate photographing people, so I don't do that anymore. And I keep it for my own enjoyment, and I do landscape photography now, and I love it. I'm back to enjoying photography again.
Couldn't you photograph my baby?
Once in a while, I will do it for friends and family, but like that's my limit.
Just don't mind him crying. He cries all the time.
I always just found it so awkward posing people. I'm like, this just doesn't feel natural, and
Yeah,
I had a hard time with it.
yeah. It's I see folks doing the family photography stuff, and I'm like I'm thinking nobody here looks comfortable at all. Well,
No, they never do. They never do.
and it in being and I imagine you being somebody who enjoys it. Now you're taking a photo of people who aren't comfortable, and you're not going to be comfortable with it
Mhm.
because you know they're not comfortable.
Yep. And it was always interesting too when I would show up for a shoot and I'd meet the people face to face, and I immediately got the vibe of, oh yeah, they don't really care for me. They just want my photography, which is great, but
Yeah.
you could tell like personalities we weren't really vibing very well.
Yes.
And because like I mentioned earlier, I do have funny colored hair and
Mm.
tattoos and piercings, and I'd show up and it'd be these very conservative families, and they'd look at me and be like, "You're going
Uh,
to corrupt our children."
yeah. That.
Like,
Oh, I didn't
what's
even
your
think
take a
about.
photo?
I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
yeah. It's like pardon me, but could you wear
Still got a
this?
little awkward.
Could you wear this sheet while we're doing? No. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It's. I mean, some things are better than in 2026 than they were in 2020 00.
Definitely.
You get
Mhm.
a little bit more accommodating usually for that sort of thing. Um, but with this, do you think that your avatar
Mhm.
is accurately reflecting how you want to be presented online?
I would say it's a version of me for
Mm,
sure.
yeah.
The when I made the avatar initially, I had long purple hair, so I was like, I'm gonna make long purple hair. And then I made her into an elf because it was a play off of my name because Keebler part, people always think it's associated with the Keebler cookies.
Right.
It's not.
Yes.
And so, but because of that, people would always be like, oh, like the Keebler elves.
Yeah.
No, but I decided to run with it.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it works. So that's where the whole design came from. Is it's a little bit of me, a little bit of play on my name,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah. It's so obvious that you're enjoying yourself with it,
very much so.
and you're it's such a unique situation that you kind of you kind of extend what you're doing with your job a little bit. It's not quite the same, but still being virtual, and
Hmm.
you you take control of it into a situation that you are enjoying yourself with it. That's
Very much so.
I mean that's pretty unique when you look at the whole thing.
The- I can imagine, coming from you, who has interviewed a ton of VTubers, that means a lot to hear that.
Yeah, I'm really.
I sometimes don't feel like I'm unique.
Oh no, absolutely. I think that's it's very unique, and the fact that you're enjoying yourself while doing it and being creative and wanting to continue to get more people involved in it is says a lot about your personality and what you want to do with it and the um, social uh, part of you that comes out and wants to be part of a group of folks. Heck, if I was doing what you were doing, I'd want to be hiding as much as possible. Uh, you know,
There are people who do that, who hide and they keep a lot of themselves, to themselves, and when they're on their screen, they're a character. Whereas me, I look at it as like this is an extension of me,
yeah,
and if I can help others be comfortable with this and embrace the idea of it, I love that. I'm not a gatekeeper.
yeah,
I say that a lot of my streams is I don't gatekeep, I pay it forward.
yeah.
So if someone gave me the information how to get started with this, I'm going to share it too and see if I can help others as well.
Well, that's thank you for that because there's that's that's just wonderful. That to hear that not only you're enjoying yourself, you want everybody else to enjoy themselves too
Hmm.
and be a
I,
part of
I
it.
view it as like when the whole community's having fun, then, that's even more fun to me.
Yeah,
So I have my own Discord server for my community, and I have a section in there for streamers where we talk about, techniques and tips and tricks and things that we're learning as we're streaming. And, not just for VTubers, but for face cam streamers, PNG tubers, and all of those.
yeah,
And I go out of my way to make sure to celebrate their victories too, because I'm like, I love seeing people succeed. I think it's just really cool.
yeah. Celebrate everybody's triumphs if you can. Um,
Definitely.
and when you and then it then in a way not only you spurring them on, but maybe you get inspired too in the process.
I Definitely. I've been inspired by so many people that have joined my streams or my community, and just the things that they're doing, and it's really cool. It's like it comes full circle.
You are a gem. You are. It's
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that you're enjoying what you're doing and being such a positive uh, role model. Take that one. There's a win. There's a W. But really, being somebody who not just enjoying themselves but spreading the wealth too. That's that's something that is unique to this particular field, unique to a certain type of person and personality. For someone who's coming from such a unique background, um,
Hmm.
you're really standing out as a shining star here.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even if you do play weird games occasionally.
The weird games aren't all the time, but we do our fair amount of
But it's absolutely wonderful talking with you, and I can see why people are coming to find out what you got going on, Keebs.
them.
We're gonna have the links in the description for the video. Hopefully, we'll get you back sometime soon and
Yeah,
talk more about what's going on. Um, you,
definitely. I would
I,
love that.
I think
And it's been a pleasure talking with you two tonight.
I hope you get everything you're looking for because I think you've got the right reasons for doing it, and
Thank you.
and I don't say that lightly, but you really do. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to interacting again in the future.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.